Morning, everybody. Hey, this is Coach Al hanging with you again from the Negative Free Zone. Welcome to today. This is a beautiful day. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. It's the day that the Lord has made. I want to kind of level set things a little bit. We first started posting a little bit about the Negative Free Zone. That's not just a title, and it's not just a slogan that I threw out there. To understand me, you have to understand a little bit where the Negative Free Zone come from and what that is. It's a lifestyle concept. It's not something that you just flip a switch on and all of a sudden it changes your whole outlook on your walk through the space we call life. However, I will say this, that the Negative Free Zone for me has become so much a part of me that I don't think you can actually remove it from me. It just becomes part of my whole operating system, if you understand what that means. It's intrinsically a part of who I am and how I go about life to find that freedom within peace within inside of me. Okay, and also that Negative Free Zone lifestyle was born out of necessity, because one of the things about our lives, we are a product of our environment, and if you expose yourself to an environment that's toxic, eventually that seeps through the capacity for your conscious mind, for your conscious mind to defend itself from that. Why do I say that? Because everything in this space, in this worldview, has an affinity toward negativity. Everywhere you look to get headlines or anything, throw some controversy into it. Throw something mean-spirited or negative into it. Go to your job and in the office spaces and what happens there. And it gets you so wired up and depressed and down on yourself, and you wonder why this is happening when you're exposed to that. So what happens? You got to change the environment. That's where the Negative Free Zone came from. It came from a toxic work environment I found myself in. Oh, by the way, this has nothing to do with football. And most of you know me for talking with Coach Sean and Brinsky and Coach Carl and Jonathan and Jance and all us in our Wu-Tang crew, as Coach Sean liked to call it. Sorry about that, I'm driving. But I just felt I needed to do this today to let you know who I am and what I'm all about. Coach Al is a moniker. Yeah, I coached football a lot of years. I'm not a great football player. I can't say I had this glorious career in college or anything like that, or even high school for that matter. I was a scrub. Tremendous athlete, just too small to be great at football. Okay? But you know something? I always tell people, yeah, I'm small in stature, but I got a tall heart. You can't measure that. Okay? And my love for football is born out of passion. And everything that I tell you is born of my experiences of working with young men and coaches and players and my own blood, sweat, and tears and things that I poured into football, that poured into me, that gave me so much satisfaction in life. So that's what Coach Al is. Coached a lot of guys, young men, in life skills. Coached a lot of people in professional spaces, the corporate world I did for a lot of years, but also on that football field, and on the track field. I was a track athlete, pretty good, hurdler, all that. So I'm athletic, been in athletics my whole life. That's where Coach Al comes from, the moniker. But let's take Coach to a different level on a spiritual plane, man. Because what I subscribe myself to be and who I am is I'm an evolving spiritual being. And truly understand the mission of my time here. And that's to make sure that I could be, a light, something that when people encounter me, they walk away feeling like, hey, you know, there's something good here. There's somebody who doesn't have an agenda against me. There's somebody here to encourage me. There's somebody here to partner up with me, you know, and that kind of thing. That's what I wanted to make this video about. Who is Coach Al? I mean, a lot of you hear me on the show with our fellows, and we talking football, and you hear me Coach Al and stuff like that. But I tell you this, that you guys spend a lot of time with us. Thank you so much. Okay? But here's the bigger piece. Be careful what you expose yourself to and who you expose yourself to. So my goal is this. When you hear me say the 6-inch space between your ears, okay, what that means to me is this. Controlling your thoughts. You could do that. Thoughts are things. Don't let it get twisted. One of the biggest lies that's ever been told is this. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. Biggest lie ever told. Okay? So this video is not about football. It's more of an introduction to who Coach Al is. You know, I'm only going to speak from a space where I can talk from what I know and what I've experienced. But one thing you're going to get from me is honesty, integrity, and truth. It's not about me. You got to see that. Because, you know, the way I look at life is through joy. Not J-O-Y. That's not how I spell joy. The way I spell joy is G-O-Y. G-O-Y equals J-O-Y for me as you spell it. So to me, the prefix of joy is G-O-Y. Get over yourself. That's how I spell joy. Why do I say that? Because for me, I'm tapped into an eternal source. I'm a spiritual guy. You know, the maker of all things is much bigger than us and directs us if we only listen. And here's the thing about that. Creation won't force its way into your life. But my goodness, man, if you just get over yourself to hear what your song is, what your voice is, what your story is, it's going to magnify your life. This brain of yours, this brain of mine, let me keep it personal. This brain of mine is a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. So all my life, from the formative years up, if I get exposed to trash, guess what's going to come out of me? Until I get enlightened and freed up. Trash. It's not that you intend to be that way, but you are what you're exposed to. So I'm trying to expose you here in this space called the Negative Free Zone. Welcome. Join me. You know, an incredible journey in life that we can grow together. Okay? That's why the F is so big. The F is for freedom in everything we do. And I tell you something else here. I try to keep this short, in 10 minutes, okay? But this is important because this is who I am. I want you to know who you're talking, who you listen to when you hear me on the YouTube channels with our guys talking football. What's brewing under the surface is always this. Free will is real. What am I saying? Coach Al, this weird, this stuff you're talking about. You can take it for what it's worth. But I got to put it out there to know who you're talking to, okay? Or listening to. In my view, I believe in the Creator, God. And to my understanding, and you can drop it in the chat and correct me if I'm wrong. In my reading and my understanding of the 65 trips around the sun that I made, humankind, mankind, is the only creation that was given free will. Free will for what? To choose God or not. Not even the angels. Okay? Think about that. That's very powerful. That the Creator gives us that to choose or not. Which means that we have a lot of power here in this space, even if we don't choose Him or Creator, however you want to say it. But also, that doesn't give you the right to control somebody else's free will. Just because they don't agree with you or do what you say or how you want it done, okay? You got to let people be. You gotta let them be. They gotta let you be free to choose you. What makes relationships beautiful is this: the freedom to collaborate in a joint effort in relationship, that I could take you for who you are, man, and celebrate that. You could take me for who I am, right? Don't judge me. And then we just keep coming back and coming back. And now that's why you have some of your best friendships in this world. You bonded because you allow that person the free will in that space of your friendship. And once you find things that bring you together, nothing can break you apart. But you're not controlling them. Most people want to control or take the energy out of a system. Now they feel good about themselves and they've taken your free will and you feel like crap. So for me, when you see the symbol, the F is always big, because the freedom within our space and our spirit and our soul that allows us to freaking blow up, because can't nobody touch you when you're in that space of freedom. That's what the negative free zone is about. It's tools, and we'll talk about this as we go along, to equip us in this negative construct. I took the red pill. This world is the matrix. You buy the blue pill if you want to believe all this crap you see on the news and Twitter spaces and everything. Let me tell you something else too while I'm on this tip. Influencers. Influencing you to do what? To buy that garbage. The internet ain't real, like Ted say. Okay? But where I'm coming from is a place that's eternal, man. Rock solid truth. Can't argue with it, you can't debate it. You can deny it if you want to. Okay, it still exists in spite of you. But for me, and for what I'm putting out here, that's where I'm coming from. We could talk about it more in depth, but just wanted you to know who Coach Al was. Sorry for the little technical difficulties because I'm driving, but it was just on my heart to say that, to let you know who I am a little bit. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody that showed Coach Al some love. But Coach Al is more than a football guy. Okay, love football, love the passion, love all of that, because it's been a vehicle to get to young men, to help them prosper, to help them manage and navigate through some difficult times in life, to show them that why would you want somebody to give you something all the time? Learn hard work and discipline, and nothing can stop you from success if you buy into that and you keep your mind free. Remember now, keep your 6-inch space between your ears free. It's Coach Al. Thank you so much for hearing me out. I know I didn't say everything that was in my heart to say, but timing is everything. And sometimes it's not meant for you to hear at this time. But over the course of our journey together, talking through this YouTube space, you're going to feel me. I'm going to feel you, but guess what? Iron sharpens iron. And we're going to do some great things in life, man, together, okay? Hey, be well. See you.